once you get this permanent residency or indefinite leave to remain, you can apply for benefits if you're eligible. You can move from one job to the other without needing tier 2 visa sponsorship. You can also live and work in the UK for as long as you want, and the most interesting thing is you can apply for a British passport. Hi guys, my name is Diana. I hope you are all doing well. I migrated from overseas, currently practicing as a registered nurse in the UK. On my channel, I do share every useful information that will also enable you successfully migrate to the UK, either as a healthcare assistant, either as a nurse, or even as a student to study in the UK. If this is the kind of information you're looking for, please consider subscribing to the channel after watching this video, and also please share with others. In this particular video, I'm going to go into details what the UK permanent residency is, what we call the indefinite leave to remain, or simply put ILR. I'm going to talk about the eligibility criteria for you to be able to apply, the cost involved, how long it takes, and also how you can apply. The indefinite leave to remain, or what we normally call ILR, is what you attain after you've managed to live and work in the UK for at least 5 years. Depending on which route, some get their ILR after they've lived here for 10 years. It all depends on the route through which you came. So if you came on a tier 2 skilled worker visa like I did, after living and working for 5 years in the UK, you qualify to apply for this ILR. So let's go into details about the eligibility criteria that would enable you to even qualify to apply for this indefinite. I did a video in which I made mention of some of the things that could affect your ILR application. So I'll leave the link somewhere up here so that you can have a look, because you need to be fully prepared before you even apply, because if you go against certain rules and regulations, it will affect you. So I'll leave the link to that particular video so that you can have a critical look as to what you can do, what you cannot do whilst you wait for the 5 years. So let's go into details, the eligibility criteria for you to be able to apply for this indefinite leave to remain. If you came on the tier 2 skilled worker visa like I did, at least you should have worked and lived here for 5 years. You should also meet the financial or salary requirements according to the UK government. You should also be in an employment that is still needed. So your employer should at least verify that the job that you're doing, you're still needed in that role, to enable you apply for the indefinite leave to continue to remain in the UK. Although you need to have lived in the UK for at least 5 years, when exactly can you apply, or when exactly can you turn in your application? You can start making an application for your ILR 28 days before you reach the 5 years. So if you apply earlier than that, you may be refused. So make sure it's at least 28 days till the time you actually reach the 5 years. But most importantly, we need to know the document that is needed for you to be able to apply for this ILR. You need personal documents. You also need documents from your employers. So I'll go into details, the documents that you will need as an applicant, and then I'll go into the details of the documents that you need from your employer. So the documents that you need to get ready for yourself is obviously your passport, and also you need to scan all the pages of your passport. Even if it's a blank page, you have to scan all of it because you upload it on the system. You also need the front and back copy of your BRP scanned and saved on your computer. You also need to do life in UK test. So I know a friend of mine who has recently acquired her ILR. She's even applied for British passport. So I borrowed the book that she used in learning for her life in UK test. She also recommended some apps that she used in addition to the book. So it costs £50 to book for the life in the UK test. So if you realize that you're getting closer to the 5 years, you can start getting some materials, download the app, or even buy the book so that at least you can start reading about it. You can write this life in UK test at least 2 months before you even start making your application. So this is how the life in UK book looks like. So this is what a friend of mine gave to me. So I'll just start going through it as and when I get a chance, so that by the time due, at least I would have had a good read of this, so that at least it will be easier for me to pass this exam. So you can use the book as well as the app to help you prepare for this life in UK test. You also need evidence of your English language proficiency. You also need to download a declaration and consent form. So that will be downloaded online. You fill it out, print it, and then upload it again on the website as you apply. You also need to provide recent payslip as well as your bank statement. And the payslip, the reason why it's needed is because they want to know that your salary is within the recommended financial or salary guidelines required by the UK government. Documents you will need from work is employment certificate. So you need to contact your HR or whoever deals with these things, and then ask them for the employment certificate. That will state the job you're doing, the number of working hours, your salary, and everything. It will also state the shortage occupation code for the particular job that you're doing. In case you've also been absent from work for any reason, either for sick leave, maternity leave, you should have records of all of this, and you should get that from your employer to attach it to the employment certificate, because they want to know why you've been absent for any number of days. Or if you ask permission from work to absent yourself for any reason, you should have like a record of all of that. Personally, I would advise you to start recording or taking note of how long you stay in and outside of the UK, the dates, the time you left, the time you came in, so that if you are making the application, it will be easier for you, because it will be quite difficult to remember what time you left the UK or what time you came in. So if you start keeping a record of it now, it will be very helpful by the time you are due to apply for the ILR. After being eligible, getting all the documents, how do you even apply? So this application is done online. You don't need anybody to do this for you. You can upload all your documents, get them all prepared, and do it all by yourself without having to consult anybody. Before you apply, make sure it's not earlier than the 28 days before you reach the 5 years, so that you don't get refused. And also make sure you've got enough money in your bank account, because you would make the payment online as you do the application. Once you've managed to fill out the application, it will direct you to a page where you have to make the payment. So this is where the money matters come in. It's not cheap at all. If I tell you how much it costs to apply for this ILR, it will beat your imagination. Even me, sometimes when I think of it, I ask myself, why this much? But it is what it is. We have to pay to get the indefinite, because obviously getting the indefinite also comes with some benefit. So if you have to pay, then we have no choice. So if you arrive in the UK, one thing I would advise you to do is to start saving for this ILR, because it's not cheap at all, especially if you are with family and if all of you are due at the same time. I'll do a separate video on how you can apply for ILR as dependent. I don't want this video to be too long, so keep an eye out for that video as well. Regarding the money issue or the cost involved, you can apply for this in 3 different options. They've got the standard, priority, and super priority. If you want to go in for the standard application, it's going to cost £2,389. It's quite a lot of money, honestly, and you'd have to wait 6 months before you receive the ILR from the time you went in to do your biometrics. And bear in mind that within the 6 months, you cannot go in and out of the country. You have to wait until you receive the ILR. And also, apart from the standard, we've also got the priority services. So with the priority service, you have to pay extra £500 on top of the £2,389. And with this, you can get the ILR within 5 days. The next one is super priority. So if you want the super priority, it means you have to pay £800 on top of the £2,389. So with this, you can get a decision within 48 hours. Your ILR will be ready. So it all depends on how much you can afford. That's why I'm saying that it's better if you start saving early. Once you realize that you are getting to the time of you applying for ILR, start saving, or even way before, so that at least by the time you are due, you can even apply for the super priority if you want to, so that you can get it within the shortest possible time. Because to wait for 6 months after paying £2,389 and knowing that you can't even go in and out of the UK, it can be a bit worrisome. So it's best if you save enough and then go in for what you think you can afford. So with the total cost, it's £2,389 for just one person. So if you want the priority, it will be £2,389 plus the 500, making it £2,889. And if you want the super priority, it is the £2,389 plus 800, making it £3,189 just for one person. So imagine if it's a family of 3 or 4, you just judge for yourself how much you have to save for this. That's why I'm saying you have to start saving ahead of time. So this is the brief information I want to share with you regarding this indefinite leave to remain and how to apply and everything. If you are due to apply very soon, I wish you all the best, and I hope your application will be successful. So if you know of anybody who is due to apply for the ILR anytime soon, please share this with them. Hopefully it might be helpful. And also please consider subscribing, share this video with others. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.